Hello, hello. We are live. It's been a long time. I know it's kind of early for people in the United States, but what can you do? Tonight I have rehearsals, so I cannot do it later today, and I can't do a live for the rest of the week. And I know I haven't had a podcast for 2 weeks in a row, but promise tomorrow you will have a podcast. And there was no video on Friday. I know. It's been a busy time for me over here. So I'm seeing 7 people here, but I'm not seeing, hold on. Let's see what's going on. I'm not seeing no one in the chat. Guys, you need to say hello or something. Because if you're here but you're not saying anything in the chat, I won't be able to see you. Hi, Tanisha. Hi, Yara. Him. Hello, hello. Hi, Tammy. There are some people still showing up at this weird time. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Beatrice. I think Sabrina and Beatrice, I know who you are. Tanisha also, maybe, I think. Sorry for the other guys. Maybe I do know you as well, but can't remember. So, good to have you here. Do you have any question to start with? Hi, Belita. always here to my lives. So if you have any question, that's time to ask, because then later on when there are more people, then questions keep on coming and it's harder to answer. Okay. Hi, Sylviane. How do you manifest multiple desires at the same time? Well, if it's like those important desires for you, I don't like to say big, because big or small, it doesn't matter. They are just big or small according to our own perceptions, right? But let's say if you're talking about desires that are important to you, it's better to focus on maybe 2 or 3. 3 would be a lot already, but really focus on 3 max, 3 desires max. Because the goal is to really saturate your mind with the thoughts and beliefs and feelings that you have your desire. And it's hard to saturate your mind throughout the course of a day with many different desires, unless you can embody the state of having it all and it works for you, right? But I see that a lot of people struggle with that. But if you can embody the feeling of you have it all anyway, you're God, it's all done, then yeah, you can focus on 5, 6 desires if you want. But if you can't do that, then I would rather focus on 1 at a time, or definitely no more than 3 at a time. All right? Because the goal, remember, is to saturate your mind with the feeling, the knowing, the thoughts. Everything should be focused on it's done, it's mine, right? And not waver. So if you're wavering about 1 desire, it's bad enough. But if you're wavering about 3 of them, it's going to be a big mess. So this is why I'm saying if there are big important desires, either you master the feeling of having it all, which is also possible, or you focus on one at a time, or no more than you can, don't chew more than you can eat, or don't bite more than you can chew, in other words, right? So that's what I would say. All right. Yara says, what are your thoughts about Subliminals night tapes? I have said that before. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of subliminal tapes. I have never, I have never manifested something that I could say, oh, it's because of the subliminals. Personally, no. I prefer to control my mind. And when I control my mind as I am awake, that's what manifests. And even if I don't control my mind, by the way, what I keep on thinking about day in and day out, that's what manifests. Now, if you use subliminals, they only have to be like a plus, like an ingredient, an extra ingredient to your recipe. But you cannot say, well, I'll do subliminal tonight, but all day I'll be completely thinking opposite my desire. No, that's not going to work. Right? So that's what I'm thinking about subliminals. They are only an extra to your daily routine. But you can't do subliminals and expect the subliminal to change your life if you haven't changed in there yourself. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking. That's what my thoughts are on this one. What is the best way to deal with illness? If you need to be in bed most of the time and the illness is chronic, well, I would stop calling it a chronic illness. I would stop talking about it. I would stop thinking about it. So even if in the moment, in the time being, you are in bed because of a disease, you need to start identifying yourself with the healthy you. But you cannot, on one hand, continue to call it a chronic disease, for example, and on the other, hoping to heal. No, you have to drop completely that version of you that is healed, right? Completely. So you do not refer to yourself as an ill person anymore or as having a chronic illness whatsoever. You keep on imagining yourself, feeling yourself, talking about yourself, hearing other people talking to you in your mind as the person who is healed. Okay? Remember, we do not fix anything. We do not fix anything. By the way, my course, my masterclass for manifesting an SP is finally done because I also got sick last week. In the meanwhile, among all the other things I've got to do, I've got sick a little bit. I've got some type of a little flu that I got from someone else. But anyhow, it's finally handed over to my person who is going to put everything together. So it's done now and it should be out very, very soon. And I will let you know. Of course, on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you'll know. So I hope I'm helping you here, Sabrina. Hi there. How do I deal with the 3D showing you the opposite of your desire when manifesting SP? Okay, this is normal. So number one, when 3D is showing you the opposite, those are your old thoughts and beliefs and assumptions showing up now. Because the 3D by nature is always come after. Imagine or light first, 3D after. Like thunder comes after lightning. When you see a storm, right? You see lightning, few seconds later, thunder. It will never be the other way around. Never, 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 because that's one of the laws of this universe. So, as far as the law of assumption goes, spiritual law goes, the mind creates 3D. So when you see your 3D being what you don't want, those are your old assumptions, your old thoughts, your old beliefs manifested. Now, and this is super important, guys. If this is all you hear today, hear this one, because my next video will be about that, by the way. The moment you react to the unwanted, you are going to manifest more of it, right? So this is why it's super important, that word reacting. It doesn't mean that you have to ignore it as it's not here, but you have to learn to not react to it. So if SP is the worst jerk on the planet, and a lot of times they are, if you react to that jerk, if you let it hurt you, if you let it bother you, if you let it waste your whole day or your whole week, you are going to manifest more of that jerk for tomorrow and next week and next month. So if the 3D persists in being opposite of what you want, it's most likely that you keep on reacting to it. And as you keep on reacting to it, you manifest more of it. You will notice that if you manage to stop reacting, stop reacting, be really like a glass that water cannot go through. It can rain like cats and dogs, but the water could never go through a piece of glass. Be that piece of glass. Like whatever he does doesn't affect you, because you know that whatever you imagine anyway will manifest tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, I mean in the near future. So if you stop reacting and maintain your state, watch your inner conversations, watch your thoughts, you maintain that, the 3D, the unwanted version of SP in the 3D will go away. Okay? So that's what I have for here. I heard a LOAS coach, a law of attraction coach, maybe you're saying? I don't know. Anyway, saying to ask oneself honestly how to feel. Oh, yeah, it was a law of assumption coach. Yeah. Honestly, how to feel, to know to be with SP or not to be with SP in this life. And if we say just a little, we cannot living without. Okay, hold on one second. I did not understand your question, Belikta. To ask yourself honestly how you feel and how to be with SP. Oh yeah, I think that's what you asked me the other day. You mentioned that to me. That coach said, like, if there is a part of you that couldn't say that you can live without SP, it would be bad. Something, it was more clear when you asked me the other day than how you wrote it here, Belikta. Yeah, she said that it means that we are needy. Like basically, if we cannot admit that we don't want SP anymore, we are being needy. And I said to you, and I'll say it to everybody, I say it here to everybody, I do not agree with that coach. I do not agree. Because wanting someone and needing that someone to live, it's two different things. So to me, by the very mere fact that we want a specific person, it means that we want them, period, right? So saying at the same time, can I live without him? yeah, most likely you could, but saying that you really have to tell yourself, I'm okay without him, I don't, to the point that you don't even want him anymore, then that doesn't make sense. Because not only SPs, but that's what a desire is for. A desire is obviously something you want. Now, does it mean that you can't live? Does it mean that you can live without them? Uh it's no. I mean, you can live without them, obviously, but you still want them. That makes sense, right? So yeah, I do not agree with that. I do not agree. You don't have to go to the point that you do not want a person anymore to be okay. That's what I mean in the end, right? You don't have to say I don't want them anymore, therefore I'm good now. I'm not needy anymore. No. Being needy is not that. Being needy is being needy, but that has nothing to do with wanting someone, right? So I hope this is clear. What do you do if what do what to do if I am able to focus on a scene for long enough? If I'm not able to focus on a scene long enough, it's because of my ADHD. Should I give up on the law? Oh my goodness. Now, number one, you need to stop saying that you have ADHD. Okay. ADHD, like anything else, can be gone like that. Okay. Stop saying you have ADHD. Stop saying that. Stop identifying yourself with a person who has ADHD. Start telling to yourself that you no longer have this thing. Okay. Number one. And you can never give up on the law, girl or boy. You can never give up on the law. It's impossible. The law is working on you right now. So even if you have a short attention span, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, always focus a minute at a time if you have to on what you want. That's all you have to do. But you can never give up. Okay. Stop using words like that, guys. You can never give up on the law like you give up on swimming or you give up on horseback riding. The law is like air. It's like saying, I'm giving up on breathing. I'm not breathing anymore. Stop using stuff like that. The stupid phrases like that. You can never give up on the law. The law is working on you right now. For example, you're saying you have ADHD. That's using the law against yourself. You still identify with that. Start changing that belief. Start changing that belief. Start saying you don't have ADHD anymore. Okay? And stop saying giving up on something you cannot give up on. All right. Oh, I love your questions. Okay. Um Okay. Can we revise that a person never existed in our reality in the first place? And what is the best way to do that? Of course, you can revise that someone never existed in your reality. Yeah. Yeah. The best way to do that, I mean, just imagine wherever that person was, she wasn't. There was someone completely different. That's all. Whether that person wasn't there or was replaced by someone else. That's all. But yeah, you can totally imagine that someone never existed in your reality. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but in your reality, they don't. Okay, Sabrina said thank you. Great. I currently have 3 desires. How can I do sats with them? Or what techniques do you recommend? And can I see the 3D still unfolding, though I still saturate my mind, and 4D that I already got my desire? Okay, number one, you need to understand that sats are not a requirement to manifest your desires, right? Sats are not a requirement. So if you do sats and you have three desires, then your best bet is to do one each night, a different one each night, because you're not going to do sats, three different sats in one night. It's impossible. So you can focus on one a week or one a day. Okay, that to start with. But also remember that it's not a requirement. The requirement is that you have to think from the state of having your desire, not doing sats. Sats is just a technique. It's a plus, but it's not a requirement. All right. Um, Tammy has another question. What is the difference between daydreaming and imagining throughout the day? I imagine having conversation with SP, but those never come true. Okay. The main difference, if any, when you daydream, you probably daydream of something. You daydream of something. Oh, thank you for the super chat, honey, Janet. When you daydream, most people daydreaming, it's like a wish, right? Like a wishy. They think of something. They're over here miserable in their 3D world, and they're daydreaming of something over there, far away. Most likely, that's not gonna happen. That's how most people daydream. Living in the end is you thinking from it, right? You're thinking from it. You're thinking from being the person who has their desire, right? So that's the main difference. Other than that, if you manage to daydream, but as an imaginal act, like you feel that you are doing this thing that you daydream about, you're really in the action, then that's all good. Okay. So that's what I have on that. See if I didn't. Now you guys, you're so many. Yes, super clear. It is like I want a pizza and I need a pizza, of course. Do I need a pizza and do I even need an SP? But I would be sad missing. Yeah. It's like people have children every day, right? Like a woman wants to have a child. Can she live without that child? Yeah, sure. She probably can live without having a child, but she wants a child, right? That's all right. As a woman, she wants to have a child. It's the same thing. See, a lot of people put those SP things as SP was any different than any other desire that we normally have as humans. I hate when coaches do that. It's ridiculous. Good afternoon, Sylviane. Hi, London Nomad. Always good to catch your live. Thank you. Will you be doing a launch video or live when your SP launches? Yeah, why not? Maybe I could do a short live to launch it. Why not? In my videos, I will just announce it, like I usually do when I have an announcement at the beginning of the video and then at the end of the video. But I will not make a whole video just for that. Just announce it because I have enough videos about SPs, that doesn't really make sense. But I'll announce it in my videos. And yeah, sure, maybe I'll do a live about that. Hi, Helena. Happy to see you again. Thank you. Nice to have you here. I had manifested the exact opposite of my desire. I initially reacted badly. There you go. But caught myself, and now I am indifferent. What does this mean now about being indifferent? I don't know. I mean, being indifferent as you don't want it anymore, being indifferent as you take it for granted. There are many ways to be indifferent, uh some millionaires, for example, they have their millions, right? They have their wealth, but a lot of them are pretty indifferent about being wealthy. They don't think about it on a daily basis. They just live their lives. They do some of the things they love to do. They don't think about, oh, I have plenty of millions in the bank and I feel so excited about this today. So if you talk about being indifferent as I'm taking it for granted, that's completely good. But that's all I can think about. Indifferent, only two things you can be indifferent about: you don't want it anymore, you don't care about it anymore, or you just take it for granted and it becomes a little bit of feeling like you're indifferent to it. And you just have it, but you are now indifferent. Okay, so that's not a bad thing. Being in, I will never worry about someone saying I feel indifferent as I would worry about someone being needy or attached, for sure. So don't worry too much about being indifferent. Just ask yourself, what is that indifference? Is it indifferent, I don't want it anymore, which can still bring you your desire, by the way? Or is it indifferent as I take it for granted, so therefore I kind of feel indifferent now? All right. So I don't know which one of the two. All right, Janet asks, I just want to say that you are amazing. Oh, you're so kind. Your content is always with golden threads. Thank you. Nice to hear that. How to overcome my fear to be with my SP in my imagination and not in the 3D. Okay, so that is ego talking, right? If you are starting to think such a thing, oh my God, what about I'm imagining myself with SP, but this is never going to go anywhere. It's never going to go manifest in the 3D. That's your ego. That's your ego talking. When you imagine, you have to shut off the world of senses, the world of ego, which is the world of senses, right? You have to shut that off. And you have to don't second guess yourself, because that's not even imagination that you're doing if you do that, right? When you imagine, first of all, I've said it many, many times before, don't start imagining in order to get your stuff, right? Don't do that. You imagine to become the person you want to be transformed in your feeling, in your thoughts, in your habits. You imagine to be that other person, that new person, not just to get something, because most likely that's why you feel this way, because you only imagine to get your little candy, like a dog doing its tricks to get the treat. No, don't imagine this way, because then the ego, yeah, is going to start saying some bullshit like that. Well, you may be imagining it, but it's never going to transpire in your 3D. When by law, what you imagine consciously or unconsciously manifest in your 3D. That's what your whole 3D is made of, your imagination. So put your mindset back in on track, okay? You're feeling this way because you have it all twisted, right? You imagine in order to get something, you don't have enough faith, you don't really understand how this works. So there is a whole thing you've got to do, and I think you need to read Neville. That's one thing I think you need to do, okay, to stop this BS thinking. All right. Okay. What to do if we react to SP? How do we get back on track? Well, like I said, Georgie, as I said earlier, you should not react, because if you react, is that you are falling into the trap of yesterday's news. Like the 3D is yesterday's thoughts, yesterday beliefs, yesterday's assumptions. So if you fall for that, you're just prolong that yesterday's thoughts. So you need to get into a habit ASAP, ASAP. The faster, the better for you, to not react. And if you did react, well, right away have some ready to go affirmations or inner conversations and change your story like right on the spot. Say, no, 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 this is not that. And you have some inner conversations ready to go, some affirmations ready to go, or some imaginal act ready to go to replace that reaction that you just had. Okay, that's all you can do if you already have reacted. But learn to not react anymore. But if you do react, get back on your feet this way, as I just explained. Okay. What do you do about manifesting pregnancy at 41? Oh, like I would at 35. See, again, what is that age there? You know, do not, if you become conscious of the fact that you are 41 or 42 or whatever, it's in your consciousness. What does that mean? You are telling your story, right? You are telling you, I know what story you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself the story, oh my gosh, I'm about to not be able to have children anymore. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have to stop identifying yourself with your age like anything else that we need to stop identifying ourselves with. Stop identifying yourself as a 41-year-old woman. You are a woman. You have periods every month. You can have children. Do you think that your body thinks in terms of age? No. It's your programming that thinks in terms of age, not your body. Because if you look at animals, as long as they are able to reproduce, they reproduce. Do you think they think of themselves of being older or younger? No. That's a human thing, because humans, unfortunately, unlike animals, we are completely freaking programmed. So there is someone at some point that programmed you to believe that it's okay to have a child at 34, but not so good to have that child at 41 or 42. Stop thinking this way, okay? You fall pregnant at 41 the same way that you would at 17. Okay? Let it be clear. And you stop identifying yourself with a number. Okay? A number is if you didn't know when you were born, like, some people on this planet don't know when they were born, right? Do you know it exists? They don't know when they were born, so they are given an average age. And I know someone whose father is just like that, right? Never knew his birth date. They just gave him one. So if you didn't know when you were born, you wouldn't even know your birthday, so you wouldn't know your age. It means that you would definitely not know if you are 38 or 45. You wouldn't know. Okay? So, guys, you are talking always too much based on the programming of the society you live in. Remember that. And me too. I mean, I'm not, we all are. That's the thing. But that's what we are fighting. That's what we are trying to scratch off, right? Scratch off ourselves and our minds when we know the law. We're not supposed to think like everybody else anymore. So I hope it makes sense. I just recently experienced something play out opposite from what I manifested, even though I was pretty certain I would get it. How did I manifest the opposite? And what should I do to fix it? So I do not know, because I don't know exactly what you've done. But as per the law, it's pretty much impossible to manifest opposite of what we truly believe. So maybe, just maybe, there was a part of you that didn't truly believe that. Maybe you thought, we can fool ourselves sometimes. Trust me, I've done that too. You know, we could fool ourselves that we are really in the state, that we really believe that this is blah 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 blah, right? But we don't really believe it. There's something in us that didn't truly believe whatever, and maybe that's why. So if that was the case, how do you fix it? In analyzing if you truly believe that that thing that you were so sure to manifest, if you truly believe that it was already yours, or maybe you'll find out that maybe I didn't truly believe it. Okay, so that's what I would do. In 2023, 6 girls had crush on me, but when I tried contacting them, each one got a boyfriend in no time. What could be the reason for that? They came unexpectedly and left when I thought it was ready for relationship. Samsar Kumar. I don't know, because you're talking about them. We don't care about them in your world. What matters is you. I, who cares if you had 6 girls that had a crush on you? That's their thing. So your manifestation has nothing to do with whether they had a crush on you or not. If you, for example, if you chose one of those girls, it doesn't matter what they think. They could think that they don't want you at all. It doesn't matter, right? So what they thought doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, right? What matters is what you want. It's the same as anything else. What you want, you decide what you want, and you imagine that you already have it. So if you wanted one of those girls, you imagine that she's yours. Who cares? They have a boyfriend. You stop at that. Boyfriend is a 3P. You can manifest people with 3Ps all day long, right? All you do is you decide what you want and you go for it. You don't care what they said, what they did, what they didn't do, how many boyfriends they have. That's irrelevant. Okay? So that's what I have. For this one, I know it's old, but sometimes I can't help myself. I directly started to affirm, even if I believe or not. I said to myself, no, no, whatever I do, my SP reacts to me lovingly. I mean, you mean whatever I do, my SP loves me. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Exactly. What is your Neville's favorite book and lecture? Uh, well, I've said it many times before. I think that my favorite book from Neville is, yeah, I mean, I don't think it is, The Power of Awareness. That's my favorite book. Lecture is probably The Pearl of Great Price, but there are also some good ones, other good ones. I don't necessarily remember the titles. But yeah, I love many of his books, but yeah, probably if I had only one book, it would be The Power of Awareness. And I really love the Pearl of Great Price, the Pearl of Great Price as a lecture, because that's the lecture that tells you to shed everything else besides the fact that you remember that you are the apparent power, that you are God, and anything else is just stuff that you add, but they have no power over you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that answer to pregnancy. Great, great. That's wonderful. Another question. I am 22 years old. Now, can I grow my height? Yes, you can grow your height at any age. I've heard. I haven't done it, but because I was never focused on that whatsoever. But I know that some people have done it. Regardless, they were all adults, so they were all, probably more than 22 even. Plus 22 on top of it. It's really like kind of the limit. I think people do grow. I know for sure that I kept growing even after my 20s, so I don't remember exactly, but after your 20s you can still grow taller anyway, and you can do that at any age. Okay, you just have to intend that you are taller. That's all. All right. Could you please talk about thought transmission? Okay, that's an easy one, Lila. That okay. That even that term annoys me because thought transmission. This is a term from the law of attraction crap. Thought transmission, like, oh, there is a little thought here. Ooh, it's going there. Okay, guys, if you think about thought transmission this way, stop it. Stop it. Thought transmission happens every day naturally. When you think of something about someone, that is thought transmission. They have no choice whatsoever but to think, to push that back onto you. So if I think that someone is out there to get me, that they will, like I used to in the past, right? That people were there to get me, that people were there to disappoint me and to abandon me and to stab me in the back. I was doing what those idiots of the law of attraction call thought transmission. There is no such thing as thought transmission, as I have a thought here and it's going out and it's going to pick you. That's not that. You do thought transmission all the time. What do you think about your boss? What do you think about your parents? What do you think about your lover? Those are thoughts transmission, because everything that you think about those people, they think that exactly. Okay? That's what thought transmission is. And when I say exactly, I mean, if I think my boss doesn't like me, he has no choice, but he won't like me. Right? So that's why I'm saying stop using that term anyway. It's very annoying. Thought transmissions, because it's misleading. That's why it's annoying to me. It's misleading, right? Your thoughts are transmitted all day long, 24/7. Okay, so that's what I hope that's clear. That's what a thought transmission is. All right. I know I'm being very Abdullah as always, but that's the way I am. I'm not gonna apologize. I think overall people like it. You are so wonderful. Thank you. Okay, for addressing every question of mine. Yeah, I mean, it's not that many questions. I can go one by one. So Belikta's favorite book is favorite Brazen Impudence. I love that one too. I forgot it. And Mental Diets. Okay, yeah, Brazen Impudence. Very very good. Thank you so much for this live. No problem. You're welcome, Yara. Eternal Abundance ask, I have manifested myself taller and I was in my 30s. There you go. There you go. And in your 30s, you definitely done with the supposedly 3D growing up. Okay, I have two SPs to choose from. Should I make a decision about which one I should choose? Okay, you asking me, Joanna? So look what you're doing here. You're asking me how you should make a decision, but the thing is, you have to ask yourself, right? You have to ask yourself. what maybe you were never honest enough with yourself that you could make that decision. So you have to be very honest with yourself. Okay, if there was only one of those two, which one would that be? And go for it. If you want, ask your higher self before going to bed. Fall asleep with that question. uh Help me, higher self, my god self, help me know which one of those two SPs is mine. And you will know for sure. I know you will know. The only reason you don't know yet is that you haven't been really probably honest with yourself about that question. All right. Amy. Hello, Sylviane. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the efforts you're making to explain the law. Please, could you tell me if we could reverse death? Okay, I think everything is possible. Okay, I know of a story, a true story, where the mother had just lost her child in the hospital and refused that, and the child came back to life. However, you have also to understand that when someone dies, unless in that case it was her child and he had just died, and I think that as a mother she had the right to say, no, you're just a child, you're not gonna die, I want you back, and the child came back. Other than that, any adult that die, it's not your business. So that's how I see it, right? It is, everybody has their own journey, and everybody's journey is not my business, right? Even if I love them, even if I'm close to them, they also have their own journey to go through, right? And again, the only part of us that has big issue with death is the ego, because the ego does die and it doesn't like death, right? But that's really the only thing that dies when someone dies, right? So usually when we have issues with people dying, it's issues with ourselves. We don't accept because we miss them. Sure, we miss them, but at the same time it's not our business. So that's what I believe about death. Okay, so no, I would not try to bring back someone who's been dead for months or years. No, I would not do that. All right. A very gentle Abdullah. Thanks, Belikta. Yeah, I think so. Do you believe we can get into the state of by robotic affirmations? Yes. Yeah, truthfully, yes. Because a robotic affirmation is just a thought that you keep thinking. That's what it is. So when, let's say, I'll give you a true example of a robotic affirmation that was natural to me when I was in school. When I was in school, I was not a very good student because I was bullied. I was too much troubled to be really as good as I could, as my potential. I know I had plenty of potentials, but I was never as good as I could. So I had a robotic affirmation every time we had a test. I was like, I'm going to fail that test. 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 That was a robotic affirmation. Did that manifest? Yeah, perfectly. Yeah. Did that put me in a state of being a failure? Yeah, completely. Right. So that's what a robotic affirmation is. It's a phrase, a statement that you keep on telling yourself. Yes, they manifest. And yes, they put you in a state. Yeah, they do. Okay? So that's what I have to say about that. So yeah, they do manifest. It's maybe if you think about robotic affirmation as forcing something in your mind, even if at first you're forcing it, eventually if you keep saying it, you won't have to force it anymore. It will become so automatic. That's what we call robotic affirmation. That's all. That's the other word for it would be automatic statements that come back and back in your mind. That's what robotic affirmations are. All right. Can you talk about lullaby technique, please? Not much. I don't even remember what is it. Lullaby technique. Uh, I'm not. I don't know if you can refresh my memory. I don't remember what it is. But what I can tell you, since you use the word technique, all techniques work. Okay, so that lullaby, whatever, if by lullaby you mean like isn't it wonderful type technique, of course they work. All technique work because it's not the technique that manifests, is what the technique does to you. If the techniques manage to help you be in a state, then of course the technique is going to work. There is no technique that is wrong. It's only us that are wrong. The techniques are never wrong. The affirmations are never wrong. Nothing is wrong. It's us. Are we using it to do more bad than good? Because we can do that as well. Or are we using it the proper way? And in that case, they all work. Okay, so lullaby, whatever it was, forgot. If you can remind me, uh, they all work. But I don't know what it is. I don't remember. But I think it may be like the isn't it wonderful? Like you keep on telling yourself, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? And you embody that feeling and you fall asleep with it. Uh are there any circumstances that do matter? No. Not no, none, zero, nada. No. That and can get DSP. No, there is none, absolutely none. The only thing that would prevent you from getting an SP is you. Never circumstance, never. Because first of all, personally, I've heard them all kind of crazy circumstances. They never matter. If we say circumstances don't matter, they don't matter. Otherwise, if there was only even one circumstance that matters, we couldn't even say that. No, circumstances are all made up anyway. They are all made up and most likely by you. So of course they don't matter. If you have a 3P, it's you. If SP is a jerk, it's you. If SP says I don't want you anymore, it's you. So there's no circumstances that matter. Of course not. If you're asking this question, is because I know that we have a tendency to believe like, oh, but this is different. No, it's not different. There's no circumstances that are different than any others. Best way to get a strong self-concept, well, changing the way you think about yourself. Whatever helper you use, you could use affirmation, you can use all of it. You can use a visual, you can use affirmations, you can use inner conversations. Start thinking about yourself the way you would like to be. That's all. And I do explain this in detail in my upcoming masterclass, by the way. All right, that's amazing. I'm going to visualize myself pregnant, of course, and here, congratulations. Exactly, that would be perfect. Does revision really change the past? Yeah, we said that many, many times. Yes, it changes everything, and it does change the past. Yeah, because the past doesn't exist anyway. What we call the past is not the past. There's only one big now, right? So that's why it changes the past and the future and the present, because it's all one time now. And your past is only alive because it's alive up here. So there are two things with the past. Either we think about it and then we keep it alive in our now, or we completely forget about it and then it's gone in the ether, right? Gone. But other than that, there is no such thing as the past. So this is why revision changes the past, because it's not the past, it's now. There's only one time, and it's now. See, there are words like that you need to stop using. Thought transmission, present, future, past, all of that. The less you use those words, the better you're going to be. Okay? And trust me. Oh, hi, Yona. Nice to see you here. Uh, what is your advice to embody 100% to know who you truly are, the ultimate authority of your reality? Well, you have to have brazen impudence, right? You have to, it's always about a story that you're telling yourself, right? I notice one thing. There are some people in this life that are very strong and very confident, and some that are very weak, very frail, very always like they're walking on eggshells every day. And what's the difference? It's just the story they tell themselves. It's not even about their childhood or their past. It's not even about that. It's that one of such persons started one day to just start telling themselves a new story, another story about themselves, and the other one never did. Right? That's all. I know I see a lot of people, and a lot of people that are usually, the who are broke financially are those ones. Don't you love them? They love to, I don't know if they do that with other coaches, but they love to contact me, try to get some information, even though I give plenty of free information, such as here, my videos, my podcasts, back in the days where I had more time to write my blog post, but they're still there anyway. The old ones are still the same, are still good to read, right? But they still want to grab some information from me, right? Well, usually those people, their biggest problem is they never change. They never change. They haven't yet made the decision to start telling themselves a new story. Like, I'm a freaking goddess or god. I am a master manifestor. I always get what I want. I'm strong. I'm popular. I'm the best. No, they're like, hey, I have a question for you today. That's the type of state that they are in. There is one not too long ago. I had to put you on mute because she drove me nuts. She drove me nuts because she's been asking me the same questions for so long that I feel that at some point I feel, okay, either you're completely dumb and then there's nothing I can do for you anymore, or you are insulting my intelligence, because I am telling you exactly what you need to know and I do it for free, and you're still asking me questions even after I told her that this was the last thing I told her, that everything I ever had to tell her was already said. She still tried to connect to me. And the best service that I can render that person right now is to put you on mute and to let her think what she's doing. And what she's doing, she's not changing. And that the best coach on the planet cannot do it for you. If you don't decide to change the way you think about yourself, the way you talk about yourself, the way you see yourself, nobody can do it. Nobody. Nobody, no master classes, no courses, no one-on-one coaching, nothing. Nothing can do it. And my best results when I have clients, so first of all, how interesting, those are have the money to pay me, so it means that they already have a much better mindset about themselves, right? And I give them some tips, some advice. I help them, I listen to them, I let them know what they are doing wrong if I catch something, and those change very quickly. They're like, oh yeah, I got it. And then sure enough, within a few weeks, sometimes only 1 or 2 weeks, they're sending me amazing stories of results that they're already getting. So I don't even know how I got where I'm going getting here, but in the end is, yeah, you have to make the decision. Yeah, that was Belikta's question. If you don't make the decision, nobody can make it for you, and your whole life is based on a story. A story you have been telling yourself. Okay, so all you need to do is change that story and repeat to yourself as much as you can every day. Repeat to yourself that new story, embody that feeling of being that new person, and things will change for you. Okay, all right. um, Caramel says, hi Sylviane. What is the best technique to feel prioritized by SP, or from plans being cancelled? I try not to react, but it sometimes feel good to talk about the situation with SP. Yeah, sure, but it's also tiring. Yeah. So, what is the best way? What is the best way? The best technique to feel prioritized? Again, there's no such thing as the best technique. You you have to decide what works best for you. But again, it's about changing the story. So if you don't feel prioritized or don't feel prioritized enough, it's because you are certainly attached to some type of story that says you're not prioritized. So you have to start telling yourself, I am number one. There's no one before me. I am above being prioritized. There's just no one ahead of me. See, start with a new narrative. So number one, which is what I have people do in my masterclass. Number one, we always start with what you're doing now, and you put it on paper. What is it that you're doing now? What is the story you're telling yourself now? And if it helps, write it down. Write down what is it that you're doing now that does not make you a priority. And then once you have it clear in front of your eyes, change it. Change that story. So you can use imaginal act, you can use inner conversations, you can use affirmations. It doesn't matter. They all work. They all work. Use whatever feels more natural to you, but change that narrative. That's what you have to do. Whenever you are in any circumstances, it's always a narrative, something you've been telling yourself, consciously or unconsciously. So you have to change it. Okay, I think it's okay. Talking about lullaby, I think it's repeating like a lullaby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you asking me what I think about that? Like anything else, I think it's good if it's good for you. You know, it cannot be bad if it makes you feel or embody the state. It's good. You're the best coach. Thank you. I know from the past 4 years since I became interested in the law of assumption. You know me for 4 years. Okay, great. How can I manifest my dream job? Riona asks. If I don't exactly, you mean you don't exactly know what you want? I think what you want to do, only what I don't want. I don't like my current job. So yeah, you don't even have, I have a client, I have had a client a couple of years back. She even had someone create a job for her. So the job that was the perfect job for her didn't even exist, right? So what did she do? She just imagined herself being completely satisfied doing her job. So you don't have to go into the details. That's what's wonderful about imagination and about manifestation. To manifest, you don't have to go into the details. Details are up to your choice, basically, but you don't have to. So when you don't know exactly what you want to do, you cannot even go into the details. So you just imagine the satisfaction. How well, how satisfied would you be if you were doing the perfect job for you? What would be the feeling? What would be the accomplishment that you would feel? And you do that, you focus on that, and that job, whether it exists or not yet, like in the case of my client back then, that job would come to you. Someone may create that job just for you, like in her case, right? You don't have to worry about that, whether it's a job that exists or doesn't even exist yet. It will come to you. So that's how we do it. Right. If we focus too much on SP, in manifesting him rather than on ourselves, we will manifest them. Many coaches advise to focus on self-concept. What is the best ratio? It's kind of both. I mean, it is both. I mean, definitely you have to focus on you first, right? You have to focus. It's always you anyway. How can I explain? When you manifest an SP, it's just you pushed out. So all you really have to do is imagine yourself in the perfect relationship, and you add to that a specific head, right? A specific face. That's all. But it's all about you. If you feel that you are in a beautiful relationship, you feel desired, you feel wanted, you feel chosen, you feel that you are satisfied, completely happy in that relationship. That's what matters. And then all you have to add is, well, it's with that specific person. So it's not about focusing on them as if anything was coming from them, and nothing's coming from them, it's from you. So that's why, of course, since it's coming from you, it's your self concept first, right? And I explained that in detail also, by the way, in my masterclass. But yeah, it's all about you. It's all about you. Who are you? What kind of person are you in that relationship? And then it just happens to be someone specific. That's all. So it's not about focusing too much or too little on them. It's like it should come naturally, right? What a lot of people do is make things too complicated, like too much, too little. How do I? It's not about that. It's about knowing what it is that you want. What you really want is feeling happy, satisfied in a relationship with that someone specific. That's all it is. So it's not about focusing too much on them or not enough. If you do that, it's coming naturally. Everything will come naturally. All right. Belikta says, yeah, true. America first or Kane Waste. I want a room full of mirrors so I can be surrounded by winners. Yeah. Yep. I lost my spot. How can I handle the uncomfortable feeling of no plan of action after assuming the feeling of being rich? I feel rich, but logic wants me to still act. Okay, well, that logic is, it's ego, rational mind. So dump that one. Okay. When time comes, when you, if you have to move, as Neville said, whether one person or 100,000 people have to move, they will move. If there is a part of you that's thinking, oh well, now what do I do, that's ego. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's your ego that now wants to do something. When it's time for you to do something, you will do it. Your body will move. Don't worry. Okay. If you think this way, remember, ego thinking, rational mind thinking. Don't listen to this one. And that's the ego that is uncomfortable. God is never uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable, ego. All right. I agree 100%. And one of the most lovely being I know too. Oh, thank you. Thankful she is one of my friends. Thanks, Benita. Thank you for this live and answering me. Okay, eternal abundance. Thank you so much for answering my question, Amy. Okay, you're welcome. Do you have a special affirmation or looking more beautiful and younger every time? Because every time you show up, you look prettier. I always have affirmations in front of my mirror every day. I affirm for ev- ev- everything in general. I always say I look more beautiful every day. I look younger every day. My skin is clearer and brighter every day. My eyes are bigger and brighter. And now I'm not gonna say more, but I'm even changing something in my eyes, thinking color, right? I'm doing that right now. Yeah, I always compliment myself, not only my face but my body. I always have affirmations that you could call robotic affirmations under the shower, for my body, in and out. Always. See, what you tell yourself every day manifest. It just does. So it's important to have mirror work every day where you tell yourself good stuff. Because guess what? If you don't do it consciously, there's got to be some unconscious thoughts coming up when you look at yourself in the mirror. Let's say you don't have ready to go affirmations, ready to go thoughts, whatever you want to call it, right? If you don't have those, that after a while they come naturally. You're gonna have nasty ones. You're gonna have something like, oh, I look terrible today. Do you think that's something you want to tell yourself every day you look at yourself in the mirror? No. So that's why when we know the law, we have to be proactive, right? Because if we're not proactive, guess what? The old bitch will always take will always be there for you. So that's why you always have to be proactive. Makes sense. And thank you for the compliment. um I am losing hope to get a job, please suggest. Okay, well, see, if you say I am losing hope, that's your state. You are in a state of losing hope. There is no hope in the law. What the freak is that word for in your sentence? So maybe that's why it's not working. See, when something is not working, always look at what you're doing. And that's why I'm very strong in doing that in my new masterclass, making you realize what the heck you're doing now, because what the heck you're doing now is what manifests in your world right now, right? So there is no hope. That word, I have scratched it out of my vocabulary for a long, long time. There is no hope. Hope doesn't exist. And people who believe in hope, they don't get anywhere ever, right? Hope is for, I know there is a Greek quotation, a Greek quote about that. Like, hope is a piece of shit, basically. That's what it says. So stop using the word hope. There's no hope. You are God. Does God hope? See, I remind that to my clients sometimes, and in my group coaching, to every time they think silly thoughts like that, replace your name by God, or your I by God. Would God hope? I don't think so. So if you are God, there's no hope. Stop hoping. You're not hoping. You're creating. You are a creator. You're not someone hoping. So put yourself in that state. You already have the job. Okay? And drop the hope and never use that word again. And that's what I would say. All right. I don't need to be in a good mood all the time. No, nobody is. No, not at all. You don't need to be in a good mood all the time. That's not even human. Nobody is in a good mood always all the time. No way, no freaking way. Of course you don't. All right? The answer is no, you don't have to. How to make sure that we are really prioritizing ourselves? Well, by knowing it, right? I mean, you should know. Do you know if you're prioritizing yourself or if you're prioritizing someone else? It's very simple. Very simple question requires a very simple answer. Ask yourself the question, okay, am I prioritizing myself? And let the answer come in, and let it be honest. Honestly answer yourself. You are going to know. You will know. Shannon, hi Shannon. Hi Sylviane, love your name, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for your teaching and explanation and example. Thank you. Keep it simple, path of least resistance. Yes. Sev Dai says, so it doesn't matter what technique we are using, it's all about the feeling. Yeah, technique, they don't matter. They are helpers, so they're all good, they all work. How about if we want to be financially free? How should we start to manifest that? But it's the same thing. You feel that you are financially free. It's a feeling. You feel that you are financially free. You could start saying things like, money comes easily and effortlessly to me. Money comes out of my ear. Money falls from the sky for me. I get money. I don't even know where that money comes from. I mean, your imagination is the limit, right? Whatever you can imagine of saying to yourself or feeling, go for it. But that's how you can manifest a lot of money. Very simple. What if I've been doing this for 5+ years? Self-concept work 100,000 times better, but nothing has changed. Alice says that. I got over 2 SPs, don't want them anymore, but I haven't been able to get the relationship I want. Okay. So the number of years that you've known the law, unfortunately, has nothing to do with the number of years that you are actually practicing the law. Because, like that dear lady that I had to mute, she's been knowing this law for 4 years, right? But she hasn't changed. And she hasn't changed because she has not decided it, first of all, and she hasn't done the inner work, what I call the inner work. So maybe you haven't really shifted. You've done some things, but they were maybe too superficial. I don't know, because I don't know what you've done. Or maybe you are not aware of some big assumptions that you still have. It could be so many things. But yeah, knowing the law and having really done what it takes to change are two different things. So I don't know what your assumptions are. I don't know what you've done. I don't know anything about you, so I don't know. But again, I would suggest that you find out, and you will understand why, even though you've known this thing for a while, things don't appear to be changing. Huh? All right. It's made me want to give up many times, thinking this only way. Oh, yeah. No, 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 dear Alice. There is no exception. This thing doesn't work for some things and not other things. No, 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 no. It works all the time for everything. And it works right now for you. That's why right now you are having a big issue, because you are manifesting that, right? It's always working. There's something that you've got to change. Okay, I will work on this. Great. Yes, it makes sense. Good. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for the response. Okay. Well, you don't have to call me ma'am, you can say Sylviane. Who else should we put others? This is what we're taught to be. Put others first. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Society would tend to tell us to put others first when it's really us. Anyway, we can't do anything for anyone unless we do for us first, anyway. I've thrown away that belief concerning what society has taught me. Yeah, very good. Vanessa says. But I was thinking about that concerning manifesting, that if we don't prioritize ourselves and focus too much, especially, yeah, on an SP. Yeah, we are not supposed to focus on SP, 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 SP. We're supposed to have our own lives anyway, also. How to release some old emotions that dwell really deep in the subconscious. I feel I am always sabotage myself. Okay, number one, I would drop that thing. I would drop that belief. It's a belief that your emotions are deep in your subconscious. No, no. Okay, I would drop that, because that assumption, it's an assumption, right? You're already assuming that you have those deep emotions that are deep in my subconscious and they are sabotaging me. This is the only reason you are being sabotaged, because you believe that. But that isn't true. It's just a belief. As I said to a client recently, because she was asking me what is a limiting belief, and I said all beliefs are limiting beliefs. That's what it is. All beliefs are limiting beliefs. This is just a limiting belief. Nothing is so deep in your subconscious mind, because you are God. And God can say, fuck the subconscious mind. I do not want to deal with this anymore. I'm going to change my story. Again, it comes down to the story you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself, this is deep in my subconscious mind. Stop telling yourself that. I am sure that if you stop saying what you wrote here and start telling yourself a new story about your subconscious mind, things will start changing. But they can't change as long as you keep on saying and believing and assuming that this is true. It's only, like Neville said, an assumption that false will be true to you if you believe that it's true, right? And that's exactly what you're doing here. You believe that this is true, so it's true to you, but it's not. Okay, stop assuming this silly thing. That is the very chain that is holding your leg. Like that true story. How they keep an elephant from not moving. When he's a baby elephant, they tie a rope around his foot, and they tie that rope around around a pillar or something. So the small elephant can't understand very, very, very quickly that he can't go, that he can't run away. When the elephant is big, they just keep the rope on the leg, but the leg is not attached to anything. But the elephant doesn't move, because he learned that he was attached to something when he was little. Except that when he's big, he's not even attached to anything anymore. He doesn't move. And that's what you're doing with your subconscious mind here. You're saying, my subconscious mind is sabotaging me. There's some deep emotions. Stop. Stop. It's not true. It's just because you believe it. But you're like the elephant. You're free. You just don't know you're free. Free yourself. Okay? Free yourself from that assumption. All right. Hi, Sylviane. My SP is married and chosen his wife. How can I strengthen my self concept to manifest him? Thank you. Very easy. I mean, NSP was married, and I know about that. He's only married if you keep on saying that he is. If you keep on imagining that he is. But if in your world is not, in your world, in your imagination, is married with you, then he will be very soon. Do not, that's reacting to the 3D right there. How do we get rid of an SP? Of a 3P? Sorry. How do we get rid of a 3P? By never mentioning it. Why you mention that? Because she exists in your world. So that's why she exists. Because you keep on, you even mention it. Do not, she'll be gone in no time. Trust me. If you do not imagine her anymore, right? But if you write down this, if you think about her, if she's in your imaginal world, then she will be in your 3D world as well. So she has to go from your imaginal world. She's nowhere to be found, and she will be gone. Trust me, that I know how to do it very well. Yeah, there is no separation. Belikta says no separation in manifesting when we prioritize ourselves is, yeah, valid for our entire reality. Exactly. And that includes SP. Yes. Can you give us examples of your day? Do you meditate daily? No, not daily because I'm too busy. No, not daily, but I would say for sure I do meditate before I fall asleep. I mean, if I can call this meditate, I'm aware of my thoughts before I go to sleep and as I wake up, for sure. No matter how busy my day is going to be and keeping me from doing some things in my inner world, yeah, I do not fall asleep on whatever and I do not get up on whatever. No, no, no. That's when I really direct my thoughts more than anything on a daily basis when I'm before I go to bed, before I go to sleep, rather, as soon as I wake up, and when I'm under the shower. Because even Albert Einstein mentioned something about being under the shower, how our mind, there is something that happens in the mind when we are under the shower. And it's a moment where it's super important to watch your thoughts because when you are under the shower, you're almost in a zone, like almost hypnotized when you are under the shower. So if you are like me and you take a shower every day, that's a very good 5-10 minutes to spend in here. Okay. So those are the 3 moments. Anyway, you could call it I meditate. And also, of course, yeah, sometimes I take the time when I can to lie down. I never do like an hour meditation for real. I don't. But maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah, I will lie down and meditate. I used to do 1 hour meditation. I can't anymore. I don't have time. If I found myself in the state of waiting and I'm not having and not having in the 3D is in my face, what is the best way to get back to the state? Yeah, if you feel yourself waiting, is that in that moment, at least you have stepped out of your state. So the best way is to get back in. Neville said that, I have to go soon, by the way, guys. Neville said that when you step out of the state, the best thing to do is as soon as you notice, you go back to it. You just go back, go back, go back. The best way is your way. Some people go back in the state with affirmation. Some people go back in the state with visualization. It could be inner conversations, whatever works best. You go back into the state by doing what you do best to go into a state. That's what I would do. Okay, just a couple more questions and I have to go. It's been an hour and a half, guys. Thank you so much for your guidance. You're welcome. Yeah. Uh, boss is bullying me. I'm focusing on myself being valued and ignoring him with the idea that he will get fired. Should I fill out the survey of satisfaction about him, or is that keeping me in the old state? Yeah, I think you meant state. Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah, yeah. If you are given a survey and you say he's bad, is this and that, yeah, that's the old state. Yeah, that would be conforming him being not good to you. So yeah, if you don't want him to bully you anymore, imagine that he's the most loving boss. He really loves and adores you. He puts you ahead of everyone else. All right, one last. If emotion don't manifest, then is it okay to get jealous? No, it's not okay because I'll tell you why. Is it something hard not to react to jealousy? Okay, jealousy comes from lack. Okay, it's a lack state. We are jealous when we think. That's completely ego lack state. It's the ego thinking that if someone has something that I do not have, whatever it is, that means I'm missing it. I don't have it. So jealousy is from a state of lack. And it's not because emotions don't manifest that all emotions are good. No. Number one, emotions can manifest. It depends how they come out. First of all, let's not say that emotions don't manifest. I have manifested things having a huge emotion about it, so that you can trash it right away. You are confusing when we say that when Neville said the state doesn't mean emotion, but it doesn't mean that emotions don't manifest. Don't confuse everything. Okay. And yes, jealousy is an emotion that has to go out of the window because it's a very bad emotion, a very low level, low vibration emotion, an emotion of lack. So that's why it has to go. Okay. All right. Even if it's romantic jealousy, it's the same. It's still bullshit. It's still lack. What are you doing if you feel resistance toward a new assumption? Well, you keep on telling you the story until you don't feel that resistance anymore. That's all. You feel resistance because it's a new story and you don't believe it. That's all. Don't put more power into a word, by the way, than they have. Right? That's all it is. You probably are telling a new story to put yourself in a new assumption, but the old assumption is still very much alive. That's all. Keep telling yourself the new story. That's all. All right, guys. You were exceptional today again. Thank you, Belikta. I love you. Love you very much too. Thank you, guys. It was fun. I love those lives. It was super long, an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me. And the live will be available on replay, as always, like a regular video under the live playlist. If you can't find it, it will always be found in the playlist anyway, the more easiest way. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Take care.